Okay, so hello, my name is Theo Ruscar. I'm from France, and today I'm gonna show you the work I've done on the project 2D game kit, on the free project Unity 2D game kit. So it was our final work at the ESTS, at my last year in ESTS in the video game section. So the goal here was to implement, to create and implement the sound, create, maybe innovate, and I didn't I didn't manage to find the original 2D game kit, so I send you to try to find this 2D game kit to manage to see all the changes we managed to do. For the beginning, I'm just gonna run through the game, and after that, I'm gonna explain a bit what we were thinking, with some traduction on some kind of things, and I'm gonna go around the Fmod project and maybe the Reaper session of my part. So that's it. That was our work. Keep in mind, I'm gonna explain a bit later, but keep in mind it was a Surround project. So it is we here in stereo here, and the problem is that some work we've done was in surround, so some sound are maybe for in stereo down mix, but in a surround place it's better. The things you can say to us is it's not an excuse. I can understand that, but we were in a rush, and at the end of the year, no. Ah, je vais couper ça. But keep in mind, it was a surround project. We didn't do a down mix, stereo down mix, so some sound are a bit less have less dB than they might originally be. Sorry for my English. So I'm gonna show you the presentation we had to do because it was we had a notation on it with some judge. The jury was composed of our two teacher, Marie Muller and Thierry DJ, and with some other person, which is Gilles Camus at Ubisoft. Person I already forgot, I'm sorry for him, but a person of Cantic Dream in France, and another person of another French studio. I don't remember. Oh. It was composed of 3 persons who work actively in the video game industry. So I'm gonna do the presentation. So I'm gonna redo the presentation we did with the judge. So the game was did by Corentin Micault and Théo Ruscar. We did the integration of the music and the sound on this project. So the intention was put on Ellen the nature and the civilization. So first off, on Ellen we wanted a cyborg sound design. Like, you can see on Ellen she had a right robotic arm, and in our mind it was like she has robotic legs too. She has augmentation. It's not a robot, but a cyborg, with just some augmentation. And the challenge was to make sure on the sound you understand that you have the visual of Ellen and you have the sound of Ellen, which is robotic. The other things pretty interesting with what we did, it was we had a lot of feedback with the sound. When you crouch, when you uncrouch, when you jump, when you fall. And the last thing, which was a challenge we put on ourselves, was to do the same voice as Celeste. The other thing we wanted it was on the nature, so we wanted a mysterious atmospheres with a lot of unknown sound. With like when you see the environment, it's an alien planet. Sorry, it's not natural. It's not a human planet. So we add some different ambiances on the area. So you have an atmosphere for the area 1, another atmosphere for the area 2, etc. But you have to keep in mind it's the same planet. So it's a different atmosphere, but you understand you are on the same planet. You doesn't change too much. It's just like, 5 feet, 50 feet away from the other area or some kind of things like that. And we wanted to have things like deeper you are on the area, more anxious it is, more dangerous it is. And after that, we had to put an evolving music, sorry, which evolve with the number of keys the player have in his inventory. And after that, we have the civilization, which is pretty much the blue energy with the weapons, the door, and the switch, and the enemies, like the boss, jumper, splitter. And after that, we have the music of the boss. We have a pretty good integration, and it's pretty cool. And I'm gonna show you this later. So after that, we have our references, our you know the and after that we have our references with evolve, which is mine for the enemies, because I really like the sound design behind the monster on evolve, and on some kind of not monsters, but you have fawn on the floor, but yeah, on some kinds of weird animals you have on the planet. We have Hollow Knight for the feedback and the design of the atmosphere and the universe. Go, you have like in the 2D game kit, you have different area, but you're on the same universe. You know what I mean? But you understand this area is different with the sound. After that, we have Portal 2, but the co-op of Portal 2, which is based for the movement of Ellen. So the sound design of Ellen is pretty much based on the Portal 2 co-op with Ian Peabody. I don't remember the name, sorry. But yeah, it was, to have this robotic sound on the crouch, on the jumps, and the landing, etc. And after that, we have Celeste for the feedback. A bit like Hollow Knight, it's a kind of game when you have a lot of feedback on the character. And for the voice and the integration of the voice. After that, we have the organization and repetition of what we did with what you see, an event list. When you put the name of the event, what the event is affiliate, how the event is activated, if he's integrated in the game or not, if we did the sound or not, and which person have to do the sound and integrate the sound. Plus, it was a surround project, so we had to put where the sound gonna on which speakers the sound gonna be. So after that, we have done our project on GitHub at the beginning, but we had some issues, so we go on Plastic and SCM, and at the end we had some other issues, so we head back on GitHub. And it was, pretty cool to work with my friend on some kind of things, to experiment this kind of way to work, because I know in the game industry, a lot of people work on Plastic SM or GitHub. It's most likely GitHub if I remember well. After that, we have the sound design. So the voice of Ellen is pretty much based on the Celeste sound, and you have some references on internet about Kevin Regame. Yeah. On Kevin Regame, posting what he did, how he did, etc., etc., which was pretty cool look over. But it's not like you see that and you can do it. I spent a lot of time trying to do that. It was pretty cool. And after that, the things like the emotion of the character, I tried to reproduce that, but it was really hard. After that, we have the sound design. So we pretty much used soundband, but not processed sound. We try to do as much as we can, just construction kit sound, not processed. It's like you just a sound like I turn it off on my phone, and after that I take this sound and I modify it. Or you have some sound of my controller, and you modify it. It's most likely like that, because in Soundbank, in the boom, which is kind of interesting, you have, for example, you have the cybernetic weapon, you have two folders, the construction kit and the design, in the design folder. So in the construction kit, you have to be careful, because some of the sound are processed. So you have to take the less processed sound possible. But the intention between the construction kit and the design kit is the layering, which you can see on the right, on the top right. I did a lot of layering, especially on the gunner, and my friend Corentin Micault too. But as you can know, sometimes in project you are in rush and you want to the sound. So sometimes we take a process sound, a design sound, because we didn't have much time to recreate something, to modify some things. But I assure you, most of the sound we did it by ourselves. We modify it by ourselves. Just some of the sound, if you know pretty much all of some banks, you can recognize it. Recognize it. Sorry. So the music was most likely done by Corentin Micault. I just done one music. It's not really music, but one atmosphere in the area 4. But most likely he did pretty much. He did a pretty good job with his music. So I'm not gonna especially take a long time around that, because I'm gonna see you with Fmod. But most likely is like with the interactive music, you're on the gameplay music. It's based on the number of key player have, and on the music of the boss is based on the life of the shield and on the stage of the boss. So the interactivity, it was pretty cool, because we did a lot of feedback, and that's why our project won one of the best. If it's not the best, because we had so much feedback and variation of the feedback. With footstep for each kind of floor, for impact of weapons, uh, which variate with the enemy or the surface. Like if you hit like if you can see my mouse, if you hit your melee weapon here, you're gonna sound like a you know, a floor, earth floor. You have damage sound with some kind of enemy. If you go on acid lake, you have a sound of acid. If you go on the spike, you have the sound of the spike, etc., etc. You have a sound of landing with the velocity of ln, which means we have a sound of wind. Sorry, not wine. It's another things, but of wind. And depends on the distance between ln and the floor, gonna sound more and more higher with a specific landing, or when you reach a certain amount of distance. You have feedback of the grass in the some grass, when you move on it, add a trigger. Some grass add a trigger, so when you move on it, sometimes it produces a sound. And you have reverb for each area, which is kind of normal when you do a game. I'm not gonna go on the script, because Corentin Micault was the one who did the most script on this project. I just did the script of the UI. So I'm not gonna spend much time on this because it's not my job. I want to let the the bravo on him. And after that, we worked on a surround project. So basically, what we did, it's the atmosphere, the ambience was on the surround on quad, on the left surround, right surround, and the SFX like LN sound, etc., was on the left, center, right, because it's a 2D game. So you have to the main feedback you need it in front of you, on the screen in front of you, left, center, right, and the music was in quad too. So on the left, on the right, the left surround, and on the right surround. So I'm not gonna explain this. Just synthesization. I'm just gonna show you some videos. When you just hear SFX or music, which explain a bit what we did. So after that, we have some script did by Corentin Micault, which is like here the footsteps, here the melee attack, which interact with the tag, or when you hit a platform, when you hit some stone. After that, we have some for the acid lake and some kind of other sound, but most of the acid lake we have two defined area when something's gonna track the player to follow the player and play the sound on the center of the screen, most likely on the acid lake. And after that, we have an Fmod event for the particle. And if I remember well, it's for water drop. Don't remember well. After that, we have, when you are on the UI menu and you change the SFX volume, when you choose as a SFX volume, it's gonna go on the Fmod bank, on the Fmod group SFX. Volume, yes, vegetable name, yes, okay. And after that, landing with the speed, most likely, with distance. So more distance you have, more speed you have. So here, if for the jump, because we had a lot of problem to implement sound with the jump, like if you just it's the space button, you're gonna have sometimes the sound playing when you're not jumping, or when you jump, you doesn't have the sound. And Corentin Micault managed to, put some debug info for, if the player is grounded, if he press the jump input, etc., etc. After that, we have on Earth. It's when Ellen is damaged. Like when Ellen is damaged, you have Fmod runtime manager play one shot event emote it. Fmod, you're gonna see that later. And after that, it's like, you know, when you shoot, it produces the sound of the bullet. So it's pretty much, and we're gonna go on the next part of this explanation. Et c'est la fin. Here is the Fmod project. Just a second, I'm gonna yes, hopla. So, we didn't. I'm sorry for this. In some normal condition, we make sure this didn't look like that. I'm sorry for that, but we didn't have time to do this. We were in a big rush. So, in a real project, in some kind of other project, we didn't do that. We make sure this didn't look like a mess. I'm sorry. So, we had snapshots for every area. Like, you know, when you've been damaged by the acid lake, you have a low pass. You know, it's kind of interaction. Like when you go on an acid lake, it's kind of you have another interpretation of the sound around you, and it only takes place on the SFX, not on the music. We have a snapshot for mute ambience, like if I remember well, it's for yes, when you die. It's when you die, if I remember well. Reverb, like here you see nothing, but pop, here it is. You have 6-speed, you know, for transition, like when you have a transition between the area 1 and 2. The 6-speed makes sure that you hear a fade and not just a brutal transition. I'm gonna just do this, and you're gonna see, boom. You have a snapshot for the loading screen to make a fade between area, and the unmute ambience, you know, to all the mute and unmute ambience. You can see stop event, ambience. Okay, so we have the folder for Helen with the attack, melee attack. So you can see here, magic for the blue energy. See attack spark, you know, because it's like a stick with energy, and the whoosh. You know, we with some kind of feeds, it's less effective. And we have the start event here, which activated when we touch some things like earth, like when you see on the video here, when you touch here. So we make sure to add some if I avoid sound, remember, yeah, layer, you can see here. Yes, tag, material, earth, stone, platform. So you have the earth, you have the stone, you have the platform, which is, you know, this. Well, Helen, stand here. I can show you this in game. If you want to have a look back. Look. Okay. So, you have the range. So we have, if you didn't notice, we have a cool things, which Jill Camus say it was really cool. In surround it's better. But we have a sound on the bullet. So I'm gonna make you here. It's a bit loud here, but in game you barely hear it because we have the min and max distance. The range attack, which had a lot of impact for the feeling of the player. You know, when he shoot, he have to feel some kind of, you know, power. You have to feel good when he shoot with a weapon, or he's gonna be like he's shooting with a water gun. And the hit, which is, you know, for same as the melee attack for some kind of surface. Like here you hear nothing, but with earth, stone, platform. Okay. The emote is for, you know, when it's a loop which you only hear, sorry, when Ellen at 3 hertz. 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 Here you hear nothing. Actually, sorry. Like when she is max health for nothing. 3. Two. So, the intention behind this was to do a bit like Zelda. Like when you less you have health, you have to put on the player a kind of operation, and you know, it's just a boom, boom. Like it's not a heartbeat, but it's a bit like that. But you know, it's for the Ellen things. Like she's a cyborg, so we doesn't have to hear her heartbeat, but a beep, a boop, and the electricity, because she is robotic, and you know you have robotic parts which, you know, produce electricity when she gets hit, and you have some multiple multi-instrument, which is kind of a random container in wise. So, you know, chains 50, 50, 50. Okay, which, you know, have some evolution with the Ellen health, like 5%. Each one of them, 30, etc., and 0 on 5 and 4 health. So we have the Ellen emote hit, which is kind of big, but you know, it's like the feedback, which is the Ellen voice. I don't really like it, but it's me who don't like it, because my friend Corentin Micault was thinking it was a good idea. So we have a flanger, you know, if we put that off, which is you know, a flat sound. She's it. So we have you know, we have you have to produce these kind of things, and we have the dimensions, which is like jumper, speeder, gunner bullet, because you know this. You have the gunner spark, which is the electricity, just here. Gunner shield, you know, shield impact, and it's a spike. Grenade. The acid. The lake. The spikes. Which you have spike wets here. Okay. And the alien spawn, which is the new spawn. You have some VFX. If I restart this, you can see that. Okay, but the VFX you saw on the character when she spawn, when she go on the acid lake, when she respawn, when she spawn on an area, the locomotion. So when she crouch, I'm just gonna do a disclaimer. When we did the project, we didn't know we doesn't have to do that. Like, I know we just have to put, you know, a multi-instrument, just one, you know, audio here, là, yeah, just one audio without the layering, because we put the we put the layering in Fmod, and we know now we doesn't have to do that, because the professional on the industry said we didn't have to do that because on a big project we take too much CPU. Because if I remember well, the sound team have to take 14% of the CPU. If you do some kind of event like this, you take much more. It's a bad thing, but like that I can show you on Fmod the layering with Travel. With, you know, on some kind we have, hey, I didn't yes, variation of the pitch, but not on all, because it's gonna sound bad, you know, but maybe a volume random variation. Yes, look, see, if you doesn't know, on Fmod you just have to do a right click, modulation, random, and you can see, yes, here it is, automation, pitch 2. Okay. And we put later cloud sound, you know, to make a bit of a folly. But it's really, you know, subtle. It's discreet. You doesn't really hear it. But if you put it off, yeah, you miss something. For me, maybe just because, you know, it's like, yeah, I know the sound is here, but it's kind of you missing something. When she fall, you have, you know, if I remember well, the Corentin makes sure to stop the event, which, you know, you have, and you have the loop when you start to fall from a high distance, but usually you must hear, because, you know, you stop the event with a script, and after that we have the landing, which is kind of big. We put this off. And it's, you know, when after jump, you know, you jump. And after that, we have the fall. And after that, you have the land. And you have the material, which is, you know, grass, stone, you pass through a platform, and you have the, the robotic sound. Here, click, ending. And this is a landing stream, and Savo is gonna use this later. But when on the area 4, you have what we call the big jump, just right here. You go. So it's done with a script, which Corentin Micault did with the interact with the full time here parameter. That up. So it's like, she doesn't take damage because she have robotic, robotic. Okay, can we see Ellen? Because she have robotic shoes. No, blah blah blah. Sorry, because she have robotic legs. That's why we hear this when she falls from a high distance. So after that, we have the fall, the footstep land, footsteps. Same thing. Here. With, pitch, random pitch, random pitch, random volume, random pitch, volume, etc., etc. We make sure every time we did a random pitch and volume, you have the jump, pitch volume, etc. And the up is for when, Ellen crouch and she goes up. But it was things we create with the animation of Ellen, because originally, in the original game, the developer didn't make that. So if I show you this, sorry, no weapon maybe? Yes. You have the crouch AV, which is the animation for Ellen where she falls from a high distance, which interact with a script. And we have, the crouch, which is speed 1, and the reverse crouch, which is speed minus 2. Which create, sensation of, for us, a good animation. Because if you put this off, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna play it again. Okay, I made a mistake. I forgot to. Yes. If I do that. Yes. Sorry, I forgot to do that. So, she. She goes instantly. It's kind of, you're missing something. So for us, it was really important to do a reverse crouch, like we called. So like that, you have the crouch sound, and when she goes up. Okay. After that, we have speech, which is a big part. Because if you know how it works, you understand it. But like that is, a big, big mess for you. But it's kind of well done for me. So I'm gonna explain this, but just a bit, because I'm gonna find his name. Yeah, just right here. Yep. It's Kevin Regame, which explains this on his Twitter account. Um, where it is? Yes. Which he explained all he did on the project, like creating the sound with Sante, automation of an EQ, emotion, what he wanted on the emotion, the script. It is a great script? Yes, yes. Script. And the Fmod station, which he explained on a video to, yes, just here it is, I think. Yes. He explained on Twitch video all his Fmod station, like a bit what I done here. And I'm not gonna explain this because all of this was just a recreation of what Kevin did. It was just you recreate what Kevin did, but I use this kind of implementation on some. I use this implementation on another project for the dialogue because I've wanted to at the beginning I wanted to challenge myself to recreate the Celeste voice and the integration with the free not this the what he put on Twitter, and it's kind of big, but I did. Ah, man, I'm stupid. Why I try to open this when I have Fmod project. I'm not gonna show you this. It's not important. But I recreate a kind of this for other dialogue. So you have when the parameter. I explain this in French just right here on the bottom left. Maybe if you see my mouse on the bottom left, for my friend Corentin. So like that, and for people who I don't know if I give this Fmod station to someone else, but it's explained like event for Island Dialogue, which follow integration of Kevin Regame for the game Celeste. It's another project. Yes. So, you have a loop at the beginning, and when you press 1 here, it goes here. And when the dialogue ends, goes here and restart here. And the value goes to 0 in the Fmod station. I'm gonna show you this. I click here. I click here maybe. Nope, please. Okay. No. Okay. Where it is? Dialogue. No. Sorry, I don't know where. Yes. Yeah. Maybe. Yes. So in the basic game, we have, yes, this. It's not like, it's more like, we have this in the basic game, but we didn't like it. And we just wanted to put, you go on a trigger and it activates the dialogue, which triggers a sound. And just this. So like that, you doesn't have big things on the middle. Okay. And on this info post, we put on enter. You have the text, and you have the post. Yes, time add event emitter, which is emotion 1, which in Fmod is 1. Time in second, it's like when after 3 seconds, the dialogue gonna end. It's gonna stop the event in Fmod. It's a script. Can I show? Can I show you the script? Maybe it puts this on script audio. Yes. So here on the audio, we have every script we made. Most of the script was made on the project by Corentin Micault, but I did the the UI script and some run. I think the random audio was by me. It's music slider, mix slider. But most of the complicated script was done by Corentin Micault because we didn't have had time for me to waste time on thinking about script. I like this, but we didn't have time, so we were just efficient. So you have here public void, Unity runtime manager dialog and 0 dialog emotion, which is in Unity the things just right here. Motion. Donc dialog set by parameter by name dialog. Fmod dialog. Wait for a second. It's like when you exit this trigger, the dialog text goes off. Gonna stop the event and goes off. And it's a trigger once. But if you stay, you have in second a bit like if she's like you have time to read and it's not too much. It doesn't hear the sound too much. Okay. So after that we have enemies. So the jumper which is a pink one. And I'm gonna be honest, I didn't add a lot of time to do this wheel, so it was just basic attack, basic die with some impact, footsteps, idle. Oh no, it's a placeholder. We didn't have. It's a placeholder. We didn't add this in the game code. It was we had a lot of bug, with the idle of the jumper, and we doesn't have the run. The gunner. So we have the death of the gunner. So the gunner is the boss, the final boss. We have his death. Crystal at the end. I didn't, show you this. But if you see the master here, mono. But on the gunner, we wanted, to. We wanted, to. If it is the things I didn't explain. Ok. Aparté, pour moi, faut que j'explique ça, que je fasse une V2 de la présentation et que j'explique ça. Expliquer que voilà, il y a des trucs en suivant et tout. So excuse me. You know, we have LFE, which is low frequency effect. We have the footsteps. Grenade explosion. Grenade launch. When you hit the gunner. And it's not a random container, but we put this multi-instrument in some kind of sequence container, which goes to the first to the last with more and more pitch, gradation of the pitch, like because the gunner you always have to hit the gunner 4 times, so you have a gradation of the sound to add some good feedback. Yeah, you're doing the good things to hit the gunner. You have the intro, when you have a trigger and you lost the control of the camera. And we have here some common instruments, yes, to launch the music and the parameter gunner life. You have here okay, we have the basic attack, laser fire. And we had some issues to put an attack start on the just on the beginning, because on the script for the gunner, when he starts shooting, you doesn't have an animation for the fire. When he fire, you just have he start shooting, and after that he fire on the same animation, and it was complicated to put an attack start. So on the same event, you have the start of the event and the shoot with a multi-instrument. After that, we have the lighting attack. But first, we have attack start when the gunner Reaper start his attack. Because in the game you doesn't have that, and it's kind you fighting the boss. And you have an animation, you don't know what it is. Sometimes you doesn't see it, but you have the lightning on the ground, and you're like, what the fuck is going on? So we had to do that too, to give a feedback to the player so he can understand that the gunner prepare an attack. After that, lightning. You have sorry, we didn't. It was an event we wanted to add, but we didn't add time, and I think it was not good to do that. So you have the shield on and off. And the steam, because you have some steam on the final boss. So it is, the steam, and it is the electricity on the boss when it is in the phase 3. On the stage 3, sorry. So you have the speeder, which is the blue enemy. And like you have the attack. It doesn't have a start because it was the same kind of things with the gunner. We had too much trouble to, because in the animation you doesn't have a start and after a fire, just have a fire with the ball. And I'm explaining this like when you go on an enemy, the like here, let's save. So I'm just showing you this is the enemy spawner, detail spawner, yeah. So you have his animation. No, it's a sprite. Where is his animation? Sorry. Maybe if I go on, yes. Oh god, I didn't remember how I did that. Kind of weird. Ah, yes, animator. Okay, speeder. So you have, yes, attack, shoot. But if you put this on the attack is better than putting this on the shoot. Speeder is better def. Okay. But at the end, we put it on the yes animation. I double click. No. Ah, it's the idle. The idle, I want the attack. Why I got on the idle? Yes. So we put this on the animation, and you have play random sound, which is affiliated with the event enemies spitter attacks, and after that we have the shooting. So if we put off the shooting here, the spitter not gonna shoot. And what we did before was play random sound, and after that which is affiliated to the attack start, and after that we have the attack. But it created a bug which the spitter not gonna shoot anymore. So we find another solution, and Fmod just doing that, and it works well. After that you have the ball, which in Unity is if I go on art, but it's not on art, but maybe on prefab, enemies, speeder. The speeder creates a ball, which is where, speeder, projectile here. And on this ball, we add a Fmod event emitter, which, object enable, object disable. And you have this sound, sorry. And on the ball, you have some other VFX, which can I... you can see this, but it's some kind of green water particles, and which creates this. And it's a perfect loop, so you doesn't hear the loop, which is another good thing when you're sound engineer to create good loops. And the depth of the speeder. We add this, reverb, because it created, some kind of space when the speeder die, if you put this off, just hear a regular splotch, and it's kind of you have less feedback for the player than when you put reverb behind that. So you have the idle when the speeder doesn't move or are not didn't spot the player. And the impact when you know the stick of Ellen or when the bullet of Ellen hits the speeder. So basically, when you die, you hear this. And if I go on the prefab of speeder, you can see, maybe, if I remember well. No? Okay. It's elsewhere. So yeah, it's been 3 months, 4 months since this project, so you have some kind of things I didn't remember well, and I'm sorry for that. So in the environment, you have 2 things I didn't have time to do. Basically, I wanted to go more deeper in the environment, the atmosphere. So basically, here you have, this kind of tree, and I wanted to create a sound, but I didn't have time to do that. You have this kind of tree with some kind of lighting things on him. This tree, because he move in the areas. If I do that, yeah, you see him move. It was kind of cool, to hear some grass, some kind of things like that with the wind. But instead we had the environmental ambience, which is an event with events, because it was more easier to do that. So you have area 1, 2, 3, 4. And like I explained, you have the ambiences, the atmosphere was in quad in the surround, but not in the center, because in the center we wanted to have the feedback of Ellen, to the ambiences, the music had to take less space. He had to take some space, but to let space for the main SFX. And that's why you had on every area, I think I did, yes, 2 quad, like this. Water. This is a stereo one. Which is on the left and the right, is on the left surround and on the right surround. And in the area 2 you have. Because you doesn't see some things, but you have to hear the water you heard on the area 1 and on the area 3. Yes. So in all the area you have to hear the water, except on the area 4, because it's another kind of area. But you have a bass drum tone with LFE on the area 3. With, like I said, we had to go more deeper in, an anxious way. With and the fun fact was, if you read the file name, you can see elk rut. And this is the funny part, because I saw that in the last days. I was when I put it on Fmod, I was like, wait a second, did I read ruts? You know, and it was really funny to see that at the end, because it produced a magic sound, which is for me really creepy. And when you put this with all of this, you hear a creepy sound like that. And it's beautiful. After that, you have some kind of also sound like that. Area 4. So in the area 4, we were in, you know, some kind of dark place. So we wanted to put the creepy, I don't know how to say those words, but more anxious on the player. And after that, you have the area 5, which is, you know, just room tone. Because we can't put digital silence, but we wanted to put some kind of other way to put some anxious with, yeah, just some bass and a room tone. You have the mobile plate, which is a platform. Ship on the beginning, on the area 1. And the water drop on the area 4. And the particular things with the area 4 is like, you have the water drip, and you have the drastic change, which the water drop become you have the evolution when, okay, so like it's in the music, you have Dawn 4 special, and you have, you know, what I did. It was the, if it was the only music I did, and the particular things is and when you go more and more deeper on the area, you have less instruments. I know it's a drip spooky, so it's another one. Ah, no, it's bad music. Okay, sorry. One. So it's more like one. So you have Sky and the shore. You go on 2, and you have the baby and the infants. You go on 3. You have the special voice and the baby love, and you go on 4, and you have the water special component, and you just have Astral Voice, Hollow Serra, Simple Show. And if you know a bit of Stante, you know Serra and Simple Show, if I remember well, is Arturia, Hollow 2 is, you know, Arturia, Log 4. And the particular things here is like, yes, you see the surround, and is where in a surround place with a 5.1 setup. It's really, really terrifying to hear what I did, but it was not a good way, because when I discussed with Gilles Camus, discussed with Gilles Camus, and we had some agreement on the things that I put, you know, a terrific atmosphere on this area, but I should have done like inside with the pulsar, you know, when you doesn't hear nothing and you just have a boom. And it should have been like that because we doesn't have a pause in the sound, and you know you have to add some, like in a film. Sometimes when the sound, you know, go down to create more impact when it goes up, more like that, to create a pause for the ear of the player. And so I'm gonna go again on the last things. We put this with, you know, a release of 24 seconds, because when you take the elevator, area 4. Yes, sorry, my mistake. I'm gonna show you another things. Yes, I forgot two things. Like the first one, it's to show you the trigger I've done for the music. What about this? Like, you know, when you push this box, it goes down on this switch. But the switch, when you interact with with the box, you hear the switch sound, and it changes the parameter of the music, and it goes, you know, to 1 to 2. So you know you have this, and when you activate the switch, it goes to this. Because you know you go more deeper in the area and you solve like a puzzle. Like, you know, you have to got this key, and in order to get this key, you have to push the box on this lake and the other one on this lake. So to make feel the player it goes in a good direction, I wanted, you know, to have less and less instrument. You have less and less instrument. So like that you feel less fear, sorry, and you goes up in the puzzle. It was my idea behind all of this. It's not a bridge, maybe it's a switch. This one maybe. There's a switch. Does you have bridge switch? I'm sorry, I'm just gonna try to think. Fine. Wow, well. Of my word. Okay, so sorry for that. So we have the destructible walls, which on Unity is just right here. Yes. So when you imageable, second elf, yes. So when you, I don't remember where I put it, but yes, you have the Fmod Studio Inverter destructible walls. And when you break it, and if you have, you know, in the center here, and you have this in the surround, so you have first this in the center, and on the surround you have this. So you can hear it with a stereo sound, and I'm recording this video in stereo, so you're not gonna be able to hear it well, sorry. But in the surround, it's like a good effect. You have the door opening, which is on the surround. Health pickup. Key pickup, which activated the perimeter with the music, evolving music, which is here. Override value 2. On pickup, just right here. Yes, Studio Global parameter trigger. You have the main door light. And the other things is like, you doesn't have this on the basic game, and I didn't put too much time on this, but when you're gonna cheat a little bit. Blah. When you pick up the key, you hear the lights on the left. And it's the things we implement. It didn't exist on the main game, and it was like we had to do that. If we put 2. Okay. Main door opening. When you pick up your weapon. Push a button. And you have, the stop event. Just like when you hand. Okay. So it stops the event. Start and loop. And it activated when you stop touching at the box. This is where I have here. The grass end, button end. Like when maybe on the 2. Yes, because when you put it on the button, what is the sound? The loop. It's like when you put it on the button again, like the box end, the box start, same things. And this activate when you touch at the box. It's like when you push the box and when you stop touching at the box. So after that, we have the switch. And we put it, 2 things like, when you touch it and when it light up. The teleporter, it's like, at the end when you kill the boss and you go on the teleporter to restart the level. Okay, classic. From Soundbank, if you are a good sound engineer. From Soundbank, if you recognize it. This is the sound design of, the death. The death and the particular things is like when you dead, it goes. Us. And when you put this off, it's on the area 5 when you fight the boss, because we have the music of the boss, so we doesn't hear the music. But when you are on the area 1, 2, 3, and 4, it's a snapshot of the loading screen and the depth out of the music. The music just here. So after that, we have the music of the gameplay did by Corentin Micault, with some pattern like key continues. You up this. It's like when you have 2 key. when you have 3 keys. Okay, after that you have the music stop, music master. Music master is like, you know, when you're in game and you have the pop-up menu, just right here. Pause menu, audio, master volume, music volume. I'm gonna explain this later. So you have the music of the gunner. Oh, so round 1, gunner life. With this and this activated, which activates, you know. You have my mixing. So the difficult part here with this music is like we have a similar sound than the boss. And it was really, really hard for me to mix the music and the music and the environment and the and the SFX of the gunner, cause we were doing similar sound with a lot of bass and a lot of impact. You know, because it's not really like music, it's more like, if you want to call it like that. I don't like it calling like that, but you can say it's a bit like a SFX, like a sound design music, because maybe not this, but you know, you have, which is, you know, some kind of sound you can use for your SFX. But we didn't wanted to do another music because Corentin Micault did a really good job, and me and Corentin loved this music. So after that you have Gonna Life goes here, with, you know, transition condition. Gonna Life at 0, so we goes here. After that, when you here, it puts the Gonna Life at 20 and you goes on round 2. Goes here. When you put down a bit the life, you have this, but where it is? Ah, yes, this. So you have another instrument going. You have another layer of instrument here. When it goes at 0, which is just right here when you end. So it's a big music, you know. You have a big sound, big bass, lot of impact, and we had another thing in mind. We didn't do because we didn't have time, but we put a bonus bass which is just a boss with a lot of health. You know, he didn't have shield, but just health. We didn't have to achieve that, but we kind of, you know, try some things because we wanted to do something really big. And where is the bonus boss? So we had him, and basically he didn't have stage. He just have 60, yeah, 60 HP. And when you fight him, you like it's another music with the sonority of the old one. Voila. So after that, we have the music on the main menu, on the main screen. With a transition when you click on the start button, which is pop. With launch the music gameplay, start music gameplay. And after that, if I remember, yes, you have an automation. And so we have the session increment, so it's just a command for the shield. 5, total value -1. And you have the UI sound. So the slider for the master, which is just a random container with 24 sound, which is not it's not a big thing. And it's when you touch the slider, you're gonna produce one sound. So it creates in the UI. Don't save. This. Okay, when you move it. Same for the music and for the SFX. So like that you have I didn't have to put some random volume and pitch because it already in the sound. So you have when you close, just like say it's in game. When you have the menu. Oh, okay. My mistake. We didn't put this. Control scroll bar. When option, control, like here. Oh, you hear it. Okay, I didn't put it on every... Yeah, okay. My mistake. So you have Easter egg. It's at the end we put 2 Easter egg on our game. It was the Corentin Micault always do that in his project. So if you work with him, try to find his Easter egg. Or if you play at one of his game, at one of a game, he it's a sound. Please try to find his Easter egg. He'll always put an Easter egg, and it's always funny. Here it's a dude from Doom. Okay, and this is the other one I'm gonna show you just after. So you have the negative, which is EE. Why did he do that? So the negative is when you hit the back button on the UI. So when you go deeper on the UI menu, you have a sound left to right, or middle to one to right. Sorry, and when you goes back, middle to left. Simple as that. The same sound, not really the same. I think it's like just one or two sound which change, but you have, okay. And when we restart, which is just with a delay, and the rollover, it's like when you are on the UI and you just put your mouse on something. So the restart level. Okay. And rollover, which is just, stone. And it's just, me doing some kind of thing with my voice and modify it. Is that. So, I didn't talk about two kind of things, which is blend, I think movement, yes. Movement grass, it's like, but you have 60%, not 100. Yeah, 2%. And this is, when you have a grass on the event emitter, movement grass trigger enter when the player goes on the trigger of the plant. He have he put on the event, but you have a chance it didn't activate because it's it's not 100, it's 60. 60, no, 70. Sorry. Lord. So maybe now I have to show you some kind of things on the Unity, or we integrate it, because you have the Fmod station, but it's better to see how we did that in the Unity session. Yeah, some kinds of things I'm not gonna be able to really show you how it does, because it's Corentin Micault who did that. You could me like this before. Maybe I know, yes, box material with a script, but it's. I don't really want you. I don't really. I don't know how I can explain that, because most of the time it's just like a trigger, on exit, on enter. On enter it declare it. It starts the event. On exit, it, some kind of trigger like that. On the melee weapon, it's a script. On the bullet script, the maybe if I show you in Fmod the mixing, you can see the snapshot, then but one of the scripts I did for the UI, like when you move the master volume or the SFX volume, it's most likely like just this. I gonna go on the menu part, and you have option canvas, audio canvas, master volume slider, which is just by the slider link. In the basic game, we have a script, another script, which interact with the master audio mixer and the parameter, which is in the Unity audio, in the basic Unity audio. It's not, integration with Fmod or Wise. It's in Unity. And, it's just like render manager, get parameter by name, master volume, out value, slider value, millimeter. I think I don't have to explain you this, just show you, because I'm sure you know it. Material, because it's most likely when we had material, we did some kind of things like that. When you have a sound on an animation, we put sound on animation, like on Ellen. We have been doing this on Refab, Ellen, where she is, yes. No weapon, reverse crouch, Fmod animation. We had a script which we put on some animation, like, for the scratch, we just Fmod Unity runtime manager, play one shot, Fmod events, source transform position, which can create a problem with, the gunner, with the gunner, with the splitter, with the sorry, with the enemies, because it creates a sound on the middle of the screen, so it's not really good. And that's why at the end we used animation to put some sound. But basically, yes, reverse crouch, crouch. And the good things with that, with this script, is like we just have to put the script, which is a global script. And after that, we got the Fmod event, and we just have to put the link. You're doing like event, copy path, and you put it right here. Hop. And it's gonna play the sound with the good path. So it's kind of cool because you just have one script and not thousands and thousands of scripts. But I know now, because I did that with the gunner, the speeder, that we have to put this not on the inspector, but on the animation. It's some kind of things we learned on on the rush, later. Like this, yeah. Play random sound. And play random sound is just a script which is play random sound normally is don't know exactly what it is. Maybe this here. But I think you got my point. If you I did this, in my portfolio. So it's for, it's for people to see how we integrate sound. It's like how at what level we are now. Pardon. So no, no, I think it's finished because it's a bit, it's some kind of things I think it's normal. Wait, I'm talking. Some kind of things like normal, like in the UI. I was just spending time to option menu canvas. you know, you have background, you have, you know, audio button canvas, no? UI button, and, you know, on click, studio event emitter play, it plays the UE positive, etc., etc. It's, you know, it's some kind of things you're just looking on the Unity, how they did that. And it's like, you know, most of people do that, I think. See, if Unity did this like that, it's because in the video game industry, it's most likely like that. And we go on the, you know, on click, and we put a plus, boom, Fmod, boom, no function, studio event emitter, bool enable. No, it's not bool enable. It's play, sorry. Play or stop, depend on what you do, bool enable on a parameter trigger, some kind of things like that. On Fmod, you take care at some sound to, you know, like it's on the UI. On the rollover, you have some bug, softmax instance 1 first. So I know bug, like it's just you're putting your mouse between option and exit, and it's maybe if I okay. Yes, just like that. And if you didn't put the max instance at 1, it's bugged. You know, you hear thousands of sound, and it's not good. But I'm gonna show you the 2 Easter egg. I'm just gonna put a joker on another screen. Okay, so but I think you recognize it, but you are on the UI on the UI, on the start menu, and you click on this. Okay, it was just Easter egg. It was the first thing we integrate in the game. It was really the first thing we did on the game. We are pretty funny guys, I know. Thank you. And on the last area, I'm gonna cheat a little bit, because, you know, we doesn't want to do the final fight again, because it's pretty boring to see that again. So where is Ellen? And if you go on the right, you have range settings, and you put it at it's gonna bug a little bit, but it's gonna be funny. Bye. Go. Just a bit of TJing. And after that, you have the magical code, which is the Konami code. It's not in the game, I think. What? Okay, and this is the problem. But we're funny guys. We put Easter egg on our game. So, as you can see, I think you saw this when I was playing. There is, red error, but it's most likely because the original game was not set up to, have some integration with Fmod or Wise. It was this project was here to have the integration with the basic audio on fuck, on Unity. On Unity. So as it creates some error, we had to manage to get less error as we can, and it was pretty tricky on some kind of things. And for the final, I'm gonna show you the Reaper session for a bit of my sound design skill, and just most likely for the yes, the speech. So basically, I reproduced what Kevin does. So we have an automation, and when you do that, okay, so you put a loop and you do that. I don't remember well where, but it's just this. I go. So in the we add EQ, automation EQ, baseplane, let's voice, yeah, manage with LFO, stereo, so it doesn't go too much on the border. It's just on the center because it's a voice. And okay, so you see a bit how it is, and you have cinnamon. And in Fmod, it's just then speech. Just it's just right here, which is no. This is one in Reaper. It's like one short note, one medium, one long. It's one short, one medium, one long, with dialogue and just right here. Basically, just that. It's really complicated to do. I've done this in 2 weeks. It was really in 1 week, in 2 weeks, but 1 week I was just doing that. It was pretty hard. And basically here you have, I was taking a video capture of the game, so I could do with working on the dough, like gonna etc etc. And the intro is here. There's that sound, more light, it's like light wave. Okay, so you see a bit what it look like. It's multiple layers with like, you put down one layer, it's you have less, etc etc. I did a lot of layer in this project. You have the door, you have the light, it's just in intro, it's just all of that, with the door, with all it's affiliated with the gunner. Okay, so that we have the lightning, which is the when he did an electrical attack. You have the start here. See? Just simple. And the things, it's like when he starts the attack, we have just one sound. So like that, the player is not lost. He just hear one sound and he know it's the start of the sound. But on the attack, when the electricity is here, we have multiple sound and you know. Okay. After that, we have the basic attack, which is, you know, the start. With, you know, okay. And after that, we have the fire. Okay. So, with this kind of layer, with, you know, the impact. Okay. So with sound. And basically what I did, it's, you know, layering. I did, you know, you have a, basically if I take this sound, no, not this one. Basically, if I take this sound, I think, no, maybe not this, this one. You know, it's on the sound bank and it's just like this. And I take, you know, this one, this one, this one, okay? And with, you know, modification of pitch, etc., etc. And after that, I do this. I record it, put this like that, and after that, I do boom, selected media items, directory, file name, etc., etc. We just said grenade with, you know, the launch. Okay, with, you know, the grenade, this movement of the hand. Okay, and the explosion, which is gonna show you the video. Basically, is okay with, you know, layering. Okay. And like, because we are in video games, you know, it's like, I show you this. You know, it's really pretty big. And a stew. And it's in Fmod where we put this at less. It's like that. The explosion is, you know, like this. 'Cause in the game, you have the min and max distance, so you have to make sure it's the big as it's possible. And explosion, grenade. In the surround, the death is really, really cool because when they heard that, the jury, the judge, was pretty amazed by the sound. So. Not by the end. I'm not, you know, I think I can do better than this, but you know, sometimes you understand what you could have done better after the project is finished. So yeah, I don't want to go around the jumper because nothing big to see. Same on the splitter. But yeah, most of my time was on the enemy. And you can see that thing. Here is, you know, it's like just me doing some weird shit with my mic. No. Or is it gonna, cause I, what is like just this for the splitter. And you know, you hear that, the splitter, I just like, when he attack, you have, and you know, you have my voice here. Is modified. And I'll put some, you know, other things. You know, cause I did some weird shit. Okay. And it's what I basically do on most of my sound when I have an enemy which I know I can, you know, put a bit of my voice which gonna be good. And I say which gonna be good because sometimes I try to put my voice and it's bad. It sounds bad. And sometimes, you know, I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna put my voice. But most of the time I do that. So and it's kind of cool. Like on this project, I put my voice on 3 projects for the enemies. Like on 3 projects, you have my voice modified. My voice, me doing some weird shit with my voice, basically. After that, we have the environment. I did this on Pro Tools most likely, and for you know the ambience. So you must have this mushroom. Okay, the water drop, acid, and oh, damn! I forgot to say that in the ambience we have this, which is kind of cool because you have a scatter instrument, which is really cool things on Fmod, which I don't think it's on Wise. I know Wise. I work with it, but I don't see something like this on Wise, and I want to have something like this on Wise. But you have each time the cursor is on the scatterer is gonna produce a silence. You know, it's min and max spawn interval. It's like you put this, and most likely you do this on electricity, maybe on sometimes on cars. You can do really good things. And I have, you know, some random container in a random container which produce some sound with, you know, some alien uh monkey, ants, and you know, each time you have a silence instrument and the sound. So in the surround, yes, you have this on the back, and sometimes, you know, in the ambience you hear, and you have this little sound sometimes going up on the back, which is really cool. Okay. It was one of the things I really enjoy with this project. It was, you know, doing atmosphere, Interactable, main door, earth pickup, door opening. It's things like that. It does UI, and on the UI, if I want to show you what it does, I just like, you know, the rollover was just, and on the face is just doing mod. This is just nothing big here. It's, you know, if I do this. You can see it's, pitch -5, time stretch, and what is it? And just my voice here to pitch up. This means you just do it. But you put this with IQ. Okay. Oh. It's just, this kind of situation when I use my voice to do some cool things. Okay. Because the rollover doesn't have to take a lot of space, so we pretty much have just doesn't have high frequency, but most medium and low frequency. With variation, and after that we have some slider. It was just like funny pose. It was just like taking a sound like this and just doing, this. It's not a big deal. You just have oh sorry. Okay, and after that, because maybe I stretch it. No, but yeah, you have this, and after that in Fmod you have a random container, which is just this. Okay, not a big deal. Yeah, same things here, which is in okay. Yeah, which is in Soundbank. It's just like construction kit of the boom of people. Yeah, you if you read, you can see hand movements. It's like just a man moving his hands, and if you modify it, you can have some kind of wings. Okay, magic of the sound. Oh yeah, it's pretty much everything. So I know I didn't go on everything. How I can show you, yeah. Didn't go on everything. Cause on Unity, most on Unity. But it will be a pleasure for me to talk with people who want to know more, to have the session, to analyze what I have done. Most likely to people who gonna recruit myself. So again, it's have been a really good project for me and my friend. It was a good team project. We did something amazing. We were one of the whereas one of the beta project was we were one equal with another project, which was really cool. But another aspect, we did a lot of feedback, and the other project did a really a good story, a good narrative experience with time loops, because they loved Outer Wilds, and I wanted to do that in the game because when you take the teleporter, it's like you're in a loop. And our project was most on feedback, and most likely with games like Zelda, with Metroidvania game, when you have a lot of feedback on everything you do, and it was what we wanted to do, to challenge ourselves on some kind of things, like me to challenge myself to do the sales voice. And it was pretty cool because I learned a lot going to do that. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video of myself talking about everything we did. I'm gonna try to make sure it's understandable. Maybe I'm gonna put some kind of things on YouTube. And if you have any question, message me. It will be a pleasure. So have a nice day.